Storytime of how I found out that my mom was putting our dad's ashes in our food. Yep, our mom would put our dead dad's ashes in our dinner. So basically, after my dad died, my mom showed zero emotion. It's like she really didn't care at all. Like she kind of wanted it to happen. His death was like an unsolved case, and nobody knows how he actually died. And now that I get to think about it, it might have been my mom, but I don't want to jump to conclusions. And if it was her and she sees this video, I don't want to end up like him. Anyways, back to the story. So about a month after he died, she would always post a picture of me and my brother's dinner with the caption, "You'll always be with them." Literally every single night. And honestly, nobody really caught on. All the comments were like, we're praying, this and that. Until one day I was just sitting on the couch and I look over and my mom was pouring something into the mashed potatoes. So I go a little closer and I see her pouring the ashes of my dad into our mashed potatoes. Listen, this story only gets 10 times worse, so like for a part 2.
Get this. So for a couple of years now, I have been working seasonally retail. Stay with me. So during the Christmas season, this guy comes in. And I was like, "Hello, sir. Welcome in. Is there anything I could help you with today?" And he goes, "Can I have your number?" And into that, I was like, and he was like, "Oh, you're married." And I was like, "No, sir. Actually, I'm engaged." I'm not engaged. I wear this ring out so that if somebody hits on me, I just can be nice and just be like, "Sorry. I know it's terrible. Sorry, whatever. Moving on." So he was like, "Oh, it's too bad you're engaged because I'd love to take you out." And I was like, "Yeah, anyway, how can I help you?" And this man goes, "I'm actually looking for a necklace for my girlfriend." His girlfriend. Then he asks where the $50 and under section is. I was working at a jewelry store. A nice jewelry store. I said, "Unfortunately, there's only a few items in that price range." Showed it to him. He said, "Thanks," winks at me, and walks out the door. Somebody come get your man.
Before I got my first job as a makeup artist, every time I would walk into a makeup shop, I would be so insecure and self-conscious that I would think the employees were talking about me. Because every time I'd walk in, they'd be like,
"No, babes, that's most definitely..." "Hi. Are you guys open?" "I'll tell you later." Yes, we're open." "Oh, okay, I'll just be browsing." Be sure to let one of us know if you need any help, okay?" "Sure."
and then everything would be fine up until I actually did need help.
"Yeah, just tilt your head a little bit." "Excuse me." "Yeah, that's good. But no, like, I'm not gonna try. Excuse me, I'm sorry, but hold on. Can I help you?" Sorry to interrupt, but do you have this in a different shade?"
No, everything we have out is what we have in stock, okay?
I'm not doing this. "Okay, thanks."
But don't worry guys, if you think a makeup artist is talking about you, it turns out they probably are, and after working in a makeup shop, unfortunately I can confirm that.
Story time. So there's this one road in my town that everyone knows not to speed on because half the time there's usually a cop down at the bottom of the hill. Well, I live right off of this street and drive it every single day. Well, back in August when I was moving, I wasn't paying attention to how fast I was going, didn't see the cop at the bottom of the hill, and ended up getting pulled over. You know, the usual happened. He came up to the window and was like, "Ma'am, do you know why I pulled you over?" And I was like, yes, I do, because I'm a speed racer who doesn't know how to slow their ass down. He ends up letting me off with a warning, and I go on my merry little way. Well, just now I was driving home from school, not paying attention to how fast I was going, and not paying attention to see if there was a cop at the bottom of the hill. My fast ass was going 60. So same thing happens, takes my license and my registration. He comes back to the window and informs me he's the one that pulled me over back in August. He ends up giving me a warning and tells me not to go 60 and a 40 ever again. There's no moral to the story besides I need to be aware and slow my ass down.
One day, my brother and I were walking to a liquor. To get there, we had to go through an alley. So we're walking through the alley and then randomly someone throws a rock at us. Like, obviously, we turned around, like, bitch. Literally, no fucking cap, we turn around and we see a clown looking at us with a hammer in his hand. I thought it was my mom pranking me, so I remember I looked at the clown and I was like, "You're so funny, take off the mask." My brother was like, "Sam, what the fuck, stop, like, actually, this is a real clown." I remember I looked at the clown and then the clown's like, "You have 5 seconds to run. Don't even try yelling, no one's gonna hear you." "Oh, bitch, we flew." This is the best part. So my brother and I, we start sprinting because we want to get somewhere where people are. And the clown starts chasing us. So I remember the clown chased us into this like vacant house. My brother and I didn't know what to do. So we go into the house and then we start hiding, whatever. Tried calling the cops, no fucking reception. And guess whose house it was? Guess who met up at this house?
This boy lied about his age just to date me. Story time. So back when my cute self was a senior in high school, there was this new girl that came to our school. Long story short, me and her ended up becoming super close. I went to her house, spent the night. Her family loved me. I mean, why wouldn't they? Anyways, she had a brother. We're gonna call him Binky. Me and Binky got pretty close. Now I want you guys to keep in mind, Binky didn't go to my school because their parents were divorced. So the sister who I was friends with lived with her mom, and Binky lived with his dad who lived in another city. But sometimes Binky would go to his mom's house, which is how I met him. Now that we got that out of the way, as me and Binky were getting closer, one day he asked me, "Hey, how old are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I just turned 17. How about you?" He told me, "Oh, I'm 17 too, but my 18th birthday is coming up." After a while, me and him eventually started dating. Then one day, I ran into his cousin who happened to go to my school. The rest of this story is crazy.
Thing I learned is when cops show up to a party, do not hesitate to run. There was a group of kids that stayed hiding in the basement. They hid in a closet, they hid in just like under the couch and rooms and shit. And then there was another group of kids who ran out the back door. Me and my buddy were a part of that group. So we're all running like a free-for-all, and this kid's backyard is just straight wilderness. Me and my buddy end up getting separated, and I'm fucked because my phone is dead. We gotta be at least like a quarter mile into the fucking forest by now, so I'm freaking out. I need to find my buddy. We need to meet up and do what his dad told us to do. So I'm standing all alone in the woods, and I just start screaming, "Gary!" A few seconds goes by. I hear my buddy scream from a distance, "Gio!" So we keep screaming like that until we eventually find each other. And my buddy was just with two random girls that we didn't even know. They were staying by him because they were scared and they didn't know where to go. So now it's time to execute the plan his dad told us to do if shit went wrong. My buddy picks up his phone and calls.
So when I was a sophomore in high school, I had this teacher who would only let the students in her class use the restroom one time per semester. Well, one day I raised my hand and I was like, "Excuse me," I don't remember her name, "can I please use the restroom?" And she was like, "No, you can't because you've already used the restroom in my class this semester." Well, excuse me, you can't dictate my bladder. So I'm like all frustrated, and I started secretly texting my mom because I wasn't allowed to use my phone in class. And I was like, "Mom, I'm sitting in class right now. My teacher won't let me use the restroom." And she was like, "I'll take care of it for you." And I was like, "Okay." So 5 minutes goes by, and all of a sudden my teacher's phone starts ringing, and she walks up to it and answers it, and she's like, "Hello?" "Yeah. Okay, thank you." And then she walks up to me so angry, and she slams the pass on my desk, and she was like, "Since you have to go that bad." And I was like, "Yeah, I really do, thanks." And I got up and left. I didn't even have to go to the bathroom. It was just the principle of it. I just roamed the halls.
I just had the most romantic thing to ever happen to me, and now I'm really sad because I don't think anything like that will ever happen to me again. I was on the way home from working on the bakery, and I looked like this. Sweaty, and I smell like bread. And I was walking home, and I passed this really tall flower, and it was one of those flowers that smell really nice, so I was trying to smell it, but it was way too tall for me. It was here, and I was just standing there sniffing, just and this 6'4" man walks up to me, and he's wearing a mask, but he looks cute as all hell. And he walks up to me, and he looks like maybe he's my age, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to smell the flower, because I'm just trying to smell the flower." And he's like, "Oh," and he grabs it, and he grabs it, and he holds it down for me, and he goes, "Here," and I'm like, "Thank you."